from a garage, a revolution was born.
Bill and Dave started in a garage and they were engineers and they made the first audio oscillator, and since that time, innovation has been really stitched into the fabric of the organisation.
A symbol of technological prowess, HP has engineered inspiration and reinvented the way we connect. Can this pioneer of tech continue to break new ground?
If you'd asked me about the future of the personal computer business a few years ago, I never would have guessed that it was going to make a dramatic comeback. Yet that's exactly what happened. And this renaissance has turned HP Inc., the PC and printer maker created when the old Hewlett-Packard broke itself up, into a stunning outperformer. Thanks to some terrific results, the stock has been on a gigantic tear. It's up 22% for 2018, not to mention up nearly 80% since we started recommending it a little over 2 years ago. On top of that, HP Inc. has a 3D printing business that's always seemed like a kind of a lottery ticket. But lately, the potential of this division's become a lot more obvious and exciting, with the company planning to release a new model that could revolutionize the industry in a couple of years. So, could the stock have even more upside? We checked in with Dion Weisler. He's the president and CEO of HP, who has never let us down, from the original HP garage in Palo Alto, where it all began. Take a look. Dion, we're at the birthplace of Silicon Valley. Tell me about it.
It's really quite incredible to be in this hallowed place. We're in the original HP garage where it all started, where Bill and Dave set up their first workshop and first manufacturing plant back in 1939. And it is something that as a company we're incredibly proud of. It forms the roots and the foundations of our company and everything we stand for. But it's also the epicenter of innovation. It's where Bill and Dave created their first product, the audio oscillator for the Disney movie, Fantasia. And they created 12 of them here, and they baked the enamel on the products in the oven inside, and it's just an incredible symbol of all that we've become over the past 80 years.
This is the garage concept of innovation. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if innovation were a religion, this would be Jerusalem, right here. Okay, to cradle of all three religions, major religions. Now, talk to me about the DNA that was imprinted on Hewlett-Packard from these gentlemen. Yeah, well, it's well sort of publicized, the HP way, and these guys were well ahead of their time. They obviously talked about innovation. Innovation was core DNA to the company. But there are other things that we know as HP is inside that perhaps the rest of the world doesn't know. We call it sustainability impact. It's our impact on the planet, the impact on people, and the impact on communities. And it really started here 80 years ago before anyone ever talked about diversity and inclusion. It didn't even have a brand. Where consciously and responsibly manufacturing products began here, and it's threaded right through the course of 80 years. All right, let's catch up to the current part of the revolution. Some of the things that you guys are doing, to me, are a continuation of the revolution I see around me. Yeah, listen, we couldn't be prouder of where the company is 3 years after we did the separation. Innovation is just alive and well. Everywhere I look inside the company, we've got engineers innovating like never before, creating amazing products. We're consistently delivering on the things that we said we would do. That's important to gain trust. We're a trusted brand. When something's got a HP logo on it, if we were at a party, we would be the designated driver, and people believe in us, and so we have to innovate with purpose, and it's showing up in our results. Last quarter, 12% growth, $14.6 billion. We added $1.5 billion in the quarter, year over year. EPS was strong. It was up 21%. Free cash flow, we said it'll be 3.7, in excess of 3.7 for the year. We guided up there. So innovating with purpose is showing up in our results, and it just is a flywheel that's driving the organisation and doing it with purpose. Well, I think it's important to point out that you get more than your share of bright young people because of the ethos of the company. Younger people come out of school. They want to work for a company that thinks about plastic. They want to work for a company that is thinking about diversity. And we need people to understand that your company is one that's top of mind. Yeah, listen, it's not just our employees, and we love attracting the best and brightest to join the revolution that we're really driving here. But sustainable impact on many dimensions is just who we are, and it started here. So whether it's how we think about the planet, we use 9,000 tonnes of recycled plastics that go back into our printer cartridges, whether they be toner or ink cartridges, where a lot of that, 160 tonnes of it, is ocean bound, so we're cleaning up the ocean there. We pledged that by 2020 we'd have 40% of all energy reusable and renewable energy. We're already at 50%, well ahead of schedule, and we've made a commitment to be 100%. So there's many things that we do inside the company that we're not doing because it's cool or trendy. We're doing it because it's the right thing to do, and it's a business imperative.
Right. Now, I remember when the split occurred, and there were two pieces. One was a growth piece, and one was just a cash cow that you knew some people even felt might be finite, or at least a wasting asset. You always generated a lot of cash, so people said, you know what, I'll own it for the dividend. Your part of the company is growing faster than the other part. They're doing fine, but faster, and also generating a lot more cash flow and buying back a lot more stock than anyone thought could happen by this point. How much of it is new products that move the needle, particularly versus, say, the cell phone or the tablet, both of which were revolutionary and then became just evolutionary?
Yeah, look, I think if we break it down, we think about it in the context of our strategy that has three pillars. Our core pillar, it's the vast majority of our revenue and operating profit today in both printing and PCs. I'll come back to that. In the future, we see a world of Industry 4.0, a world where manufacturing is democratized, which is not only incredible in terms of the innovation that it can drive, but it's great for the planet. There's less inventory, you're putting less things on boats, you're shipping ones and zeros around, and you're printing customized right to where the partner is. And to bridge those two, we have a growth part of the strategy. Areas that we're investing, the acquisition of Samsung, recently the acquisition of Apogee to get into the A3 copier market, the graphics business that we spoke about last time, personalising messages, and then everything is transforming to a service, so the work we're doing around PCs as a service. As it relates to PCs, that market, I always said, is a great market. It's enormous.
People did not understand because people just said, okay, well, it's going to decline by 1% to 2%. What is he talking about? The market did stabilize, but more important, your portion, your share, directly impacted by the smarts of the company.
Yeah, so what I believed always was that people will choose a device based on the complexity of task. If they've got a low complexity task to do, they might pick up a smartphone. They can look at the stock price, they can write an email, so you can produce and consume on that device, but you're not going to make Shrek 3 or whatever they're up to on a smartphone. You're going to pick up a workstation. And there's a number of devices in between, and tablets and PCs and two-in-ones and detachables and convertibles, and depending on what you're looking to do, you're going to select the right task for you. And so once sort of the innovation started to slow down in smartphones and tablets, people were gravitating back to these other devices that allowed them to do different things that were now aging 4, 5, 6 years, and we were giving them a reason with incredible innovation to upgrade.
I think that I have one. I've got the latest and greatest, which is incredibly light. I have a bad back. I did it that way. It turned out that it had all the features that I could ever want. There are a couple things that stand out. The screen that can fold up and down, but most importantly, something that I never thought I'd want, but now I don't know how to live without, touch. You knew that touch was going to be a breakout concept. How did you get that in your head?
Well, we have 5 sensors. And so it seems kind of weird to cut sensors off. And if you can introduce another sense, the sense of touch, it's a very natural thing to do. It's a little awkward to begin doing it, but once you start doing it, you can't go back. You know, it's just like one of those things that, oh, of course, it should have been there. You know, I think we innovate based on customer insight. And so we spend a lot of time with customers, a lot of time with partners, trying to understand how the world is changing, how their life is changing, how they're living one life today. They don't live a consumer life and a commercial life. So design is important, security is important, everything as a service is important to this next generation. And as it turns out, touch is really important as well, because it allows you to have a very personal relationship with a device that you spend all day with.
And certainly in keeping with the two gentlemen that invented everything here.
Yeah, absolutely. They did exactly that, and I thought that was why it was so cool to come and spend a little bit of time in the garage. It's the birthplace of Silicon Valley.
Well, Dion Weisler, thank you so much. Dion is the president and the CEO of HP. It's been such a great performer. Maybe now you know why. Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.